obviously once they get to that 5k point and that real endurance kicks in.
Which of these two is going to be stood on the top of the podium?
Wilde and Yee.
Potter, Beaugrand. You know, there's not too much between these two in terms of run strength. Down you got eyes with the blue carpet and that winning line.
As an athlete, like I feel like probably a little bit different to most athletes. Like I do a lot of training by myself, and I enjoy that sometimes. I don't know, I just like training myself because I know I can push myself. I know what numbers I need to hit, and I'm not getting over pushed in easy rides and getting over pushed in harder rides. So in some ways I do really enjoy training by myself, but also it's a bit of a trap I've put myself in, because when I do train with others, I either like ride too slow or ride too hard, and it's like you just get so used to your own kind of routine. Like I can get up in the morning, like I'll just go for a half an hour run or ride or whatever, and don't have to like meet at a specific point with other athletes and stuff. I can just get up and go and do whatever I want, maybe play a round of golf and then go and do some more training, you know. So obviously having a group is great, and having like times to train, it gets you a bit more kind of prepared for organisation and stuff. But yeah, my calendar is, my schedule is pretty relaxed. I feel like that mental change was like, I first did one of my first World Series in Hamburg, and it was, you just felt it actually felt really hard to get to the front of the group, and it just like, you felt like you're mentally kind of held back. And I think it was around when that was like my first time to racing the top guys in the world, and where I actually raced the best of the best for the first time. And you just kind of just go for it and see what happens, because there was no pressure of performing or no pressure of like getting points or anything like that. So it was just the time where I just mentally was like, well, I'll just let it go and go for it and see what happens. And I think that was kind of the switch point in that kind of 2017, 2018 period. And then I don't feel like I became a better athlete in that year or two. It was just mentally it became stronger, and you just get that confidence, and then you kind of build into that.
There are the big two, Yee and Wilde. Hayden Wilde, the Olympic bronze medalist, out front and with a big lead. They have him in their sights, but can they get anywhere close to it? Yee's moved into second place. Alex Yee, brilliant as he is, arguably has the biggest job of his career so far if he can catch Hayden Wilde.
He's making them work to get back to him.
Wilde's lead is holding and possibly even extending. He's beaten Alex Yee, who is going to momentarily, for the first time in a race where they both finished. Up towards the line. And Hayden Wilde is home for gold.
I mean, that was insane racing.
Oh, we did it! Oh. Oh, my legs are so sore. Oh. I think last year in Hamburg was pretty cool. Like, there was the first ever World Championships for the Super Sprint, and was a bit nervous in the first few rounds. The smaller the groups got, I felt like the better I was getting. And coming into that last round, I had one plan was to just tactically wait and as long as I could, and then attack on the bike at the last second and get 1 or 2 seconds, and then just hold on. And when I did that attack, I felt pretty good on the run. I knew I just had to have a really good first lap and then hold on for the second lap. And yeah, that was just like when everything kind of came together. Like, just had a real good swim, came out with the front guys, and then didn't have to do a lot of work to catch up to the front. just played my cards right. Then on the run, just had a screaming transition, and felt like we're racing all day. So it was definitely like a huge mental game, I think, as well, because we had the hour between the racing, between the ladies' race and the men's race. So it was pretty hard to kind of refocus and warm up and warm down. So
it was never me, no. Honestly, it wasn't. I was, never the fast guy, never that good in PE, but I think I just stuck at it. And for me, running was something which, just endurance running came fairly natural to me. And I guess it's something that, in London State School, is not something you're really exposed to unless you go, to a triathlon club or a running club. What I found is when I started triathlon, I was actually not too bad at it. I've always ran the way I've ran. I've never really thought too much about my technique, or no one's ever changed my technique too much. I do a little bit of kind of drill work, when I was in Leeds, when I was in Loughborough, but before that I was never doing, apart from in my warm-up, never doing too much drills type stuff or anything like that. Some things haven't come so naturally to me, like the swimming and stuff, but I think the running and being able to race the race that I'm in, I think has always come fairly naturally to me. So I think, I often leave it up to that moment to kind of make the right decision.
No one is going to get to Alex Yee. Now he knows he's got the victory. And if Hayden Wilde is watching, if he didn't know before, and I'm sure he did, he's got a serious challenge here. There's Yee on the left-hand side.
Wilde following him.
Wants to know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder, the two biggest names. Wilde had a little spell at the front, now Yee's having a little spell at the front. Who's going to make the attack and when? Will it be Yee? Will it be Wilde? Here we go! Well, the two quickest men in the field.
But Yee and Wilde, it's almost like a replay of what we saw last year.
Building up to be potentially a battle royale between these two.
It's absolutely amazing what they can do.
And Alex Yee again, trying to dominate Hayden Wilde on the run. And Alex Yee wins yet again. Total drama here in Cagliari.
Yeah, I think you start to learn different people's tendencies and stuff like that, and you find out how different people race and their style of racing. And I think you become accustomed to that, but I think as soon as you become comfortable with what somebody's going to do, that's when they'll change. And I think you've got to be ready for whatever somebody's going to do, and I guess like me a few years ago, there's always going to be a surprise in an Olympic Games or in a World Series. You've got to always be ready for what's to come.
Yeah, like I love the run battles. Like it's where the races are won most of the time, and we've got some amazing athletes running at the moment. The French Leo and Pierre and Dorian are running extremely well at the moment, and Alex is, if he's having a bad day, it's still probably better than 90% of the field as well. So you've got so many other athletes. Matt Hauser's, obviously winning his first race in the World Series race in Montreal. I think we've got a lot of athletes that have had some good results, and they'll build that confidence heading into this year. And yeah, it's I guess when you come onto the run, you never know who's lining up or who's had done done some good training throughout the winter. So
Wilder is moving his way towards the front. You see Yee in the background. Wilder are really making this suddenly a two-man race.
Yeah, really pushing on and opening up a gap. They're both looking comfortable.
Yee is sticking to the New Zealand athlete. Glue.
Alex Yee looks slightly more comfortable now than he did in those first couple of laps.
I mean, everybody's been left in their wake, so it definitely feels like it's these two and these two alone going for that top spot. He's just not going yet. Yi has made his burst right at the right time. And he is going to take top spot on the podium here in Japan.
I know guys like Richard Murray when he was, smashing it. He was like super strong on the bike and the run, and that's kind of how I was as well. A little bit weaker in the swim, and then would really like rip it on the bike and the run to finish off. And same with like Javier as well, like just like super consistent and always racing, but always giving it 100% as well. Like just those two, I think those two athletes I really want to be like, just not leaving anything to chance and just going for it.
I think the first time I met Hayden was in a local triathlon here in Tauranga. I was doing just a relay for fun. I was doing the bike leg and he was doing it as well. I didn't know him, but he was riding with me and he looked so young, and I was wondering, who's this young kid? He's riding quite well. And and then someone told me it was Hayden Wilde, and back then he was not very well known in the international level. But after that year, he started to improve and get better and better. And it happens that this is my second home in Tauranga. When I'm not in Spain, I live here. That's where he trains, so it's great to catch up with him sometimes for training, and it's great to see so much talent and commitment to the sport. He trains hard. I mean, I believe in talent, and he's very talented for sure. He has that determination. He's really hardworking. And he loves the sport. He always tries to improve. He has a great coach, and he's still young, so he is definitely one of the best athletes I've ever seen. It is what it is, Some years ago, it was me or people my generation, stepping up to longer distances and trying to be the established people. And now we have younger kids coming really strong. I mean, the level keeps raising in triathlon, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm really happy with my career. I don't need to win any more races. I could have retired 2 years ago, but I just wanted to retire on my terms and still enjoy the sport, because I still love training every day, so might as well keep racing.
Onto the blue carpet now. It is Gomez side by side. Both of these men have dug deep. They were side by side on the water, spent the entire bike ride. Brownlee and Gomez. Gomez and Brownlee, look at the fatigue both of these guys are going. Onto the toes, the crowd are absolutely loving it. It is Gomez, Brownlee and Gomez. They're down to the last few meters. Brownlee trying to go. Gomez on his toes. Brownlee coming. Gomez, Brownlee, Gomez. It is gonna be Gomez taking the sprint. Alistair Brownlee just half a second back. What an incredible performance.
I'd never want to put a time on it, because I think every time we set expectations, they're eclipsed by somebody. And I think that back in the day, Alan John and Gomez's 2012 run was hailed as the best run, that's ever been done in triathlon. And I think, even last season we had a few races which came very close to that. So I think we're entering new limits within the sport. And if we say 28:30, it's going to be 28 soon, so it's just mad.
And Wilde is right behind Yi.
Oh no, Wilde's down.
But this is terrible. He looks focused, and he certainly looks fast.
Pleasure to watch running, isn't he? Just looks so smooth, so light on his feet.
Absolutely scintillating display from Alex Yi. He knows it's all over. He's just really enjoying it. The victory, you won't see anything more dominant than this. Alex Yi comes home completely on his own here in Paris. Yi wins the test event at a canter.
Paris was a great course. I think it's just a really fast course, and I think that's the same for the swim and the bike as well. It's just super fast, not too much to it apart from, running down the Champs-Elysees and having those cobbles and stuff like that. To have, a super fast 10K where we're showing people, you know, how fast we really are running. I think it's quite cool that people can appreciate, like, wow, they are running, you know, under 29 minutes for 10K after doing all of that. Like, that's crazy. Having seen so many incredible performances over the last, you know, 3-4 Olympics, and probably each time the level being eclipsed and eclipsed and eclipsed, I think it's been super exciting. I think each Olympic Games has showed us what it takes to be competitive in this sport and through that next Olympic cycle. So it's pretty exciting. I think from the girls' race, the shot of Beth and Cassandre having a bit of a showdown was one of the most iconic shots I've seen in triathlon, I think, ever.
I think I can obviously have run track for years, but I think once you race your competitors more often, you can just start to tell from their body language and maybe their breathing, like who's finding it a bit tougher, who's not, and you get to kind of read their poker faces, and how they're feeling, and we'll just pick up on things like that.
Classic Cassandre Beaugrand. Potter has now gone past Beaugrand. It's going to be good.
Potter now being the one to take the lead, push the pace on.
Look at this. Side by side. Can you pick a winner? I can't. Looks like Potter is trying again at the front to get rid of Beaugrand, and finding that a pretty tough task. Well, this is going to be a sensational finish to this test event. Can Beaugrand close? I don't think she can. Goal for Beth Potter in Paris.
Oh, I was just loving it. I think it was one of my favorite races. It was so nice to race in front of people I know, like my family, my friends. And I was just feeling that I was pushed until the end. So I can't wait to feel that again. I could just remember having shivers everywhere, and I was I couldn't hear anything, it was so loud. It's something that I really like. I don't think it's something that makes more pressure on me. I think it's something I really like. It's such a good experience, honestly.
I barely heard my name, being cheered on. It was very much all about the French. But yeah, I was able to spot our kind of team in the crowd. They were standing there. I felt quietly confident during that last lap. I hadn't decided when I was going to pick my move, but I did it just in time. Well, I'd like to think that I can win races from different kind of scenarios in the run. I can either stretch it or kind of a slow wind up or a sprint at the end. I think I've got ideas about different ways to win, but yeah, it's just finding what's the best one to use in that moment.
It's Beaugrand, look, just moving out, putting the watch on. Beaugrand and Potter coming up behind.
Beaugrand's gone to the front ahead of Lombardi, then Taylor Brown.
Someone's going to have to push on at some point.
Beaugrand just never seems to look in any way rattled.
Looks like Potter wants to test them now.
We could be in for a phenomenal finish here.
Oh, it's Beaugrand that's come off the back.
Yes, she has. Beaugrand so strong here. Beaugrand can see the line, and she's got some daylight. What a race.
I mean, I'm not just focusing on Beth anyways, because there is so many strong girls at the moment, so I was more focusing on myself and everything I need to do to perform on the day. And I'm very happy because, yeah, it's my best performance on Olympic distance for sure, and doing that a few months before Paris just, yeah, making me an extra confidence maybe. I realized yesterday that it's been nearly maybe 10 years that now I'm doing World Series. So I think I'm quite old now, but it's always like, I always like share all my emotion with them, and we were always sharing so much. So yeah, I guess, yeah, we're just friends, racing together.
Beaugrand, I think, just behind Potter.
Potter exactly where she wants to be, and the problems for Cassandre Beaugrand growing by the minute. Beth Potter now out front.
Look at Beth Potter. She's made her move.
Well, Potter has everyone else in the distance at this point. She is a country mile clear. She's going to win this grand final. She won the test event, and she is going to be the new world champion as well. Potter wins for Britain.
It's just difficult in triathlon because nothing goes to plan. Well, very rarely everything goes to plan. There's always something that kind of doesn't. You know, probably what didn't go to plan in Pontevedra, I was a little bit too far back in the swim because I got a bit cold, and then I was cold on the bike. But, you know, so there was definitely things in that race that weren't perfect, but there was also things that were perfect as well. I think it's just about, you know, getting the best out of yourself on a chosen day. I actually feel like I'm the underdog now, so I don't feel like not all eyes are on me. I mean, anyone could win it, you know, it's not guaranteed.
It's hard to say because I'm not someone like thinking about it every day. Like, I think it's something I'm very excited for, but then I'm just like doing my thing.
It'll be heartbreak for one and glory for the other.